The second phone has arrived. It's the next day. What say we open it up and see if I get gypped by this eBay seller. Let's see what lurks within. Pages out of a textbook. Oh, that's interesting. What the heck? Somebody tore up their textbook for packing materials? Alright. Ooh, they packed the handset and the phone separately. Nicer packing than the other phone, just being thrown in a bunch of packing peanuts. Ooh, this one looks nice. Holy crap. This thing looks absolutely mint. There it is. It's a different model of phone. A simpler model. This was kind of the workhorse of the series of Norstar phones, the most common type. Wow, you can tell it's been used, but it looks just mint. That's very nice. Got English buttons, and all the buttons are present. Someone made a homemade button there for the park function. Wow, what a minty phone. What's the date of manufacture? Looks like 1997 or 99. It's got, the other phone was like this. The other phone had 98 and 2000 on it, but I actually opened that phone up and all the parts inside were manufactured in 1998. So I'm gonna guess that the older date here is the correct one, so 1997. And yeah, there you go. Wow, that is a clean phone. I wasn't gypped on this one. Very nice. Here's the handset. That looks equally as nice. And take a look at the cord. That is the most new looking Northern Telecom handset cord I've ever seen. The coils are just absolutely factory tight. It looks brand new. Very, very nice. Wow, I got my money's worth of this phone. The white one I paid, I think 15 bucks for shipped. This one I paid like $30 shipped. So I got my money's worth. That's for sure. Very nice. So I now have 2 Norstar phones to use with the system once I get it all set up. I actually ordered a RJ21 cable last night. I found a female one. It cost a little bit of money. The seller had best offer. I gave them an offer and they accepted it. So I got the cord for like 25 bucks Canadian. So that's pretty good. I'm satisfied with that. There's only one last thing I need to get, which I didn't think of before. I need to get a couple of telephone cords. I gotta buy a couple of telephone cords so that I can cut the ends off. I can cut one end off of each of them to wire into the Norstar PBX, and the other end can just hook up to these phones. Alright, it's a week later and the literature pack I ordered arrived. So let's take a look at that, and hopefully I wasn't gypped on that. When you get a Norstar literature pack on eBay, just about all of them have a stock photo, but there's a few different stock photos, so you'll find one where the stock photo has some particular buttons and another stock photo where it doesn't have those buttons, and it's really strange. So I actually don't remember what the photo this one I bought showed, but hopefully I get everything I need in this. Let's find out. Well, there's your lot, and it looks like we scored. It looks like I've got everything that I need / want here. 18 line buttons, well, I won't need those. Dungeons and Dragons, feature, speed dial, page, that's one I certainly wanted. And we've got release, hold, and hands-free. Oh, and a bunch of these are blank buttons. And these are blank buttons because that white phone is missing some of the blank buttons. 1 or 2 of the keys on the white phone don't have a keycap on them at all. So that's cool, and of course we do have some documentation here. So let's unwrap this and take a look at that. Alright, unwrapped here. Here's our buttons. They come in this nice plastic container. Oh, by the way, the smell of vintage new old stock plastic and paper when I unwrapped this thing, it was pretty neat. So yeah, there's our buttons. We'll put them on the phones later in this video. And here we go. This is a very late literature pack because it's got the name Nortel instead of Northern Telecom. Nortel Norstar. There's the three models of phones. We have the 7208 and the 7310. Telephone user card. So this is going to be based on a newer version of the firmware, where we have the older version, but most of this should be transferable to the older version. Is there any year on this? Ooh, we have labels. These are for the blank buttons. That's very nice. So you can make your own homemade line buttons with the green ones and homemade function buttons with the gray ones. Oh, we got lots of stuff here. I need two hands. Okay, start with the book here. So it features a 7208, and it's basically a manual for the telephone itself. How to adjust the ring volume and everything. How line buttons work. How hands-free works. It also shows how to use the M7310, which is very nice. Very cool. How to program the, now I know what they're called. They're called the memory buttons. And apparently you can do 2 per button. Okay, that little triangle key is a shift button to use the upper function. Oh, that's very nice. Very, very, very cool. Pages are stuck together. And there's the M7324, the big boy. It's got 20 function keys on it, or 24 function keys. Very cool. I see no date. So yeah, judging by this line right here, where it mentions a release 10 phone, I guess the telephone sets themselves, although they were basically dumb terminals, that's how it all works. Although the phone sets themselves were basically dumb terminals, they were upgraded bit by bit over time. And I guess starting with what they call release 10 of the phones, they were able to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. So perhaps newer versions of telephones have different features in the telephones themselves, maybe? Don't know yet. This is very cool to have, access to be able to read this stuff. So that's the little manual there. There, of course, is our sticker, or our label sheet. Oh, it's got little instructions on how to write on the label and stick it in the button. I just dated this thing. I just dated this sheet anyway. It has both the names on it, Nortel, Northern Telecom. So this was from, they only did that for a couple of years. So it would have been around that time during the transition period from the old name to the new name. Now you'll remember I have a phone or both of my phones are quite recent. One's a 97 and one's a 98. But they both have Northern Telecom molded into the case. Northern Telecom was very slow in updating the actual telephone molds, the actual plastic molds for the telephones. So it wasn't until, actually I think the old Norstar phones, the classic ones like I have, I don't think they were ever updated to have the Nortel name molded into them. I think it was when they released the new line of Norstar phones that had more rounded styling. So yeah, anyway, well, I can use the home phones, the POTS phones, as an example. I don't think Northern Telecom's POTS phones had the Nortel name molded into them until possibly the early or mid 2000s. They were quite slow in doing that, but they started using the name Nortel in literature in the late 90s, I believe. So there's that. What do we got here? More label. Oh, these are... I'll have to bring a phone later to show you. Oh, this is cool. Right, so I should have brought... Yeah, I'll go grab a phone. Just a sec. Right, so every Norstar phone under the handset has this little thing. Okay, so clearly I'm a big dummy. I'm editing this video when I see that clearly this telephone has Nortel molded into the case there, not the old Northern Telecom logo. And at first I'm like, oh yeah, because it's on this little panel right here, which as you can see is indented. Because I believe the telephone company could change this out for a panel which had their own logo on it, although on a Norstar phone you'll usually just find it right here. And then I was like, well, that's fair because it's up here. The molding I was referring to is on the bottom. And oh, well, okay, I was totally wrong. So this phone was made in 1998. Clearly it's got the Northern Telecom transition logo on it. Alright, I was wrong. Well, there's your example anyway. And by the way, the black one here, only a year older, 1997, take a look at this. It's got the old Northern Telecom logo. And on the bottom too. So that's kind of neat. So now we know exactly what year they switched the molding on the phones. So that's very cool. I'm pretty sure I recall seeing POTS phones, Northern Telecom POTS phones made right up into the 2000s that had the old logo molded into the case still. I'm pretty sure I have, but now I'm second guessing myself. But anyway, there's your little tidbit correcting that. Has this little thing, it's a little plastic sheet, and then under it's a little piece of paper. By default it has all the standard Norstar functions listed. Because this was a French phone, it's got the French thing on it. So, but the cool thing is we not only get a spare plastic sheet in case one ever broke, we got English. We got the English feature list here, so I can remove that French sheet and stick an English one in its place. And you get black colored ones like you see here for the black phone, and on the other side white colored ones to match the white phones. Very nice. Yeah, no date on that either. And that's everything. That's a literature pack. So let's replace some buttons. Let's put that new release key on there and put in the English hold key and the English feature key and English line key, English hands-free key, and we'll stick the page key in here as well, since this doesn't seem to have a page key. Unfortunately, I don't think the black phone has a page key either, but only one page key came with this, so the black one's going to have a homemade page key using one of the blank buttons here. So to remove a key, it's got a little indent on each side where you can stick your fingernail if you got strong enough fingernails. I don't know if I do. But you basically just pry up on them and they come out. Just like that. And we'll open our literature pack here. Buttons will probably fly everywhere on camera. Oh, yeah. What the heck? Oh, static is all sticking them to the top. That's nice. Alright, so our hold key. There's that. And our feature key. Like that. And our release key. Perfect. And take out our French line key and stick in an English one. Like that. And take our page key. And I will stick it right here. Remove this French key. I'll remove all the French keys. Conveniently enough, intercom in French is intercom. So we'll stick our page key in there. Oh, remove our French hands-free key. Ooh. And put in our English hands-free key. Right there. I don't know why we have two intercom keys, so I'm going to remove one. Well, this thing comes with what looks like 3 intercom keys. Possibly, no, 4 intercom keys. Wow. What buttons do I want? We could put more line keys, but considering I'm going to have 0 lines hooked up to it, that'd be kind of pointless. Let's do Dungeons and Dragons. I actually don't know what this key is. But I thought it was pretty funny. I've waited a year to be able to make this joke on video, Dungeons and Dragons. Let's do call forward. Stick that in there. And over here, I'm just going to stick a blank button. And make that complete. Perfect. We now have an anglicized, oh, not totally, I've got to change out this sheet. So, let me carefully extract one of these sheets, hopefully without tearing it, and stick it in there. And there you go, with an English Norstar feature card now installed. We now have an anglicized Norstar phone, a Bell branded one, which is pretty cool. Even though it has the newer logo. Well, that's pretty neat. I'm glad to have bought that literature pack. That's pretty great. That cost me about, gosh, I think it might have been about $15 total. Shipping to Canada is what kills you. Now I was looking at the black phone here, and that's all fine. It's got 2 intercom keys, so I think I'll take one of those out and replace it with something else to just to spice it up a bit, not have 2 identical keys on there. And it doesn't have a line key. I'd like for it to have a line key, but I only got one English line 1 button. I have the French line 1 button. I suppose I could stick that there, but I don't want the French spelling. I could make a homemade line 1 button, but I'd you know, they're such common keys. I'd like to have a real one on there. I could buy another literature pack, and also this is missing a page button, and I only had 1 page button, so I might buy another literature pack just so I can get an English line 1 button and another page button. And of course, as I learn to use the Norstar system and learn what kind of functions I'd like the phones to have in my setup, all these keys are probably going to change for other things. They may just become, they may all become blank keys except for like a page and a hands-free and stuff like that. I might not have a use for any of the other functions. Let's replace that duplicate, what was it, a duplicate intercom button with, let's do link. There. Now I have a collection of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intercom buttons. Nice. Each of these phones had more than one intercom button. Is there a reason for that? Would each intercom button be programmed differently? Although it would be hard to tell which is which if that's the case. I don't know. Kind of funny though. Also, I'm going to say this while I think of it. If anybody needs a French Norstar function card, or a French line 1 key, or a French hands-free or hold key, or any of these other French keys that you see, let me know. I'll ship one to you for a small fee, because I don't want them. I'll never use them. I don't speak French. Oh, there's a single Spanish one here too, so if you need a Spanish Norstar function card, I got one. Anyway, I think that's a good place to wrap up our second video of my adventures with a Northern Telecom Norstar system. We now have the PBX. We have 2 Norstar telephone sets. We have the literature pack. You saw me replace some buttons. We anglicized this phone down here. I bought some plain old telephone cords at the dollar store, so I'll be ready to hook these up to the PBX. I'm only waiting for one more part, and that's the RJ21 cable, and it's on its way here. It's coming from Russia, so it could be another couple of weeks before it comes, but I'm really excited for it to arrive, and we'll finally be able to test the system and see if it works. So until next time, thank you very much for watching.